Welcome to our pre-match press conference with Ryan Mason ahead of our game against Sheffield United on Sunday. As always, raise your hands. We'll try to get to as many of you as possible. The broadcast part of the press conference, which is now, there's no embargoes, but we ask no live streaming and no tweets or social media posts, ironically, during the press conference itself. The written briefing afterwards is embargoed till 10:30 tonight, and we always start with Sky. So James Cole, coming to you first.
Hi Ryan, how's things looking on the injury front? Anyone due back?
No, in terms of injuries, it's the same as what it was a week ago. So Ben Davies is the only one out injured at the moment.
So is Doherty back now then?
Yeah, Doherty's been training. He's been training since last week. I said that last week. Obviously, he had a period of time out, injured. But he's back with a group. He's been training all week, yeah.
And available for selection now then?
Yeah, anyone who's fit and anyone who's training is available for selection, yeah.
Good news. Can I ask you about the social media boycott, first of all? It's gathered a huge amount of pace. It's now spreading beyond just football. I wonder what you've made of the reaction to it.
Yeah, I think it's spot on. I think it's right that it doesn't just become about the sporting world. It becomes about the world as a whole, because social media need to put things in place that, one, protects people from certain things, from abuse and many terrible messages, but also makes people accountable as well. There needs to be a name, there needs to be a face to anyone who wants to sign up to use these platforms. They need to put something in place that does that.
How do you think they can do that? What more do you think can be done?
So I think, like I say, I think if you want to subscribe to use these platforms, you need to have a name. You need to have an address, a name, a profile that says this is who this person is, either tweeting or posting messages, whatever it is, on that profile. And then if there's something where they break laws or do things that aren't acceptable, then you can take action.
What's been your experience with the players at Tottenham? Have you, as part of your role as a coach, as a manager, do you have to talk to players about these issues? Have you experienced players who have suffered abuse and been affected by it?
I think I've only been in this job the best part of a week. But from my experience as a player, yeah, you almost have to learn to live with it, which isn't acceptable. It happens across so many platforms. It happens all the time. It's been happening for a very long time. And I'm happy that there's a bit of momentum behind it, but action needs to be taken. It's not acceptable that some of the abuse that you see directed at players from many different people, but we don't know who they are. We don't know a name. We don't know where they're from. That can't happen. It shouldn't be happening in the world we live in at the moment. So these social media platforms, for sure, they need to take some serious action.
Did it affect you when you were playing?
Yeah, listen, I'd be lying if certain comments don't affect you. We're human beings. I had to zone out from it. I took myself off of social media as a player because I didn't want to see it. And listen, even after I retired, you have messages about my injury, about certain things that you almost think, oh, it's another message, or just ignore it. But like I said, these things shouldn't be acceptable. They aren't acceptable, but they just seem to be okay to happen. And I think the platforms, they need to put things in place that holds people accountable for these type of things.
Looking ahead to the weekend in Sheffield United, is this a game you must win now if you're to make the top four, given their position, the fact they're relegated and there's just 5 games remaining now?
Listen, yeah, we've got 5 cup finals. This weekend's a massive game for this football club. It's important we have the right mentality because it's not easy to win games in the Premier League. So we've had a week to prepare, a week to train, a week to work the players. And come Sunday, it's a massive game for us as a group and for the football club.
How important is top 4 football for the future of this football club? And is that something you're stressing to the players?
I think the biggest priority at the moment for the players is the weekend. That is the priority. We can't look past anyone, especially in the Premier League. But like you say, of course, Tottenham Hotspur, we want to be competing on the biggest stages. We want to have something in place that allows us to do that. And this weekend is a massive game for this football club.
And I guess top four football has added importance given the situation around the search for the manager and Harry Kane's future potentially as well. Have you spoken to Harry Kane at all? Do you sense that it could be down to Champions League qualification whether he stays?
No, I've not. Listen, Harry is a constant professional. There hasn't been and there won't be any conversations with me and him regarding anything apart from either the training day or the match ahead. He's one of the most professional guys I've ever met in my life. So Harry Kane has been training excellent this week. He'll be training excellent tomorrow. I know that, and he'll be ready for the weekend.
Do you feel that Champions League football, though, could be that crucial to the football club in that sense? Could be a deciding factor.
No, I don't believe so. Harry Kane loves this football club. I think that's been proven over the last 7 or 8 years. He's one of the best strikers in the world. Everyone knows that. We know that. And I'd like to think Harry knows that as well. But like I say, the most important thing right now and our attention and our mind is this weekend. We can't disrespect any opponent. We can't be investing energy in anything else. And that's all I have to say on the matter. My attention and Harry's attention and the whole group and the whole football club is this Sunday.
Thanks, Ryan. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, James. Okay, we'll move on to George Cummings at BBC. George.
Thanks, Simon. Hello, Ryan. Ryan, you mentioned them 5 finals, so that's 15 points up for grabs. So Champions League football, it can be done, can it? You've just got to hope results go your way. So it's still a possibility for Tottenham, isn't it?
Mathematically, yes, it is possible. Listen, the Premier League's a difficult league. It's a tough league to win 5 or 6 games in a row. We've seen that across this season and probably across the last 10, 15 years as well. So, like I said, our focus is on this weekend. It's a cup final for us. Every game is now. It's an important match. We want to go there full of confidence, with a positive mindset, put in a positive performance and get a win. That's our focus, our sole focus in this moment in time.
Sorry, another question on Harry Kane, but how was he after the game? No flare-up with his injury? Is that all fine? Is he going to be fine for Sunday?
Yeah, Harry was fine in terms of his injury. He was disappointed like all of us. It hurts. It hurts all of us as players, as coaches, everyone associated with a football club. Last Sunday hurt. But like I said, Harry's a top professional. Unlike the whole group are, to be fair. They've trained hard, they've trained well, and we're prepared for the weekend.
Thank you. Good luck.
Okay, Moose, we'll come to you now.
Hi, Ryan. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Just pick up on last Sunday. A lot of people maybe had a few critical words to say about the fact that you didn't actually really go for it. And to be fair, you know, you might, if you had to done, maybe you'd have been beaten by more, but maybe you might have won the game. How do you respond to that?
I don't know what people have been saying. I really don't. I've been in my own little bubble with this group of players in this football club, so I've not heard anything from the outside. Listen, everyone's entitled to an opinion. From my point of view, the first half, yeah, it was difficult at times. We see that. We rode our luck a little bit, but I think if you watch the game and you analyse it, the second half, it was a different game. They didn't really create much. They scored from a set piece. Yes, I know we didn't have many shots on target, but the way we approached the game, the belief we had, we started to get a bit more control in the game, playing a different way as well. There was lots of positives to take from the second half, and we've had a week this week to really work on certain aspects of our game. And like I said, it's been a positive week for us after a disappointing result.
For both you and Sheffield United, not the seasons you'd have wanted, below past seasons, you could say. Both have changed manager, which at the beginning of the season seemed massively unlikely. Is this down to the fact that it's been an unprecedented time? No fans, games so thick and fast. I mean, what do you put it down to that they're in a position they're in down and you're in a position you're in?
Listen, it's football. It's football. It's a results business. Our season isn't over. So, listen, we can still make it a good season. We've got 5 massive games for this football club, and the group know that. We know that. So, our focus is on Sunday. We're not thinking, oh, it's a disappointing season, because, like I say, this season isn't finished for this football club. And that needs to be in a mentality for the group. It is the mentality for the group. So, we're going to go into the game Sunday, and we know and we realise that it's a big game.
And finally, you said you haven't spoken to Harry about his future, but I mean, there's massive speculation, and wherever you look, whatever you listen to, whatever you read, it's there. Is it affecting the squad, and how do you make sure that the squad aren't affected by it?
Listen, there's always speculation about the best players in the world. Harry Kane is one of, if not the best number 9 in the world. So that talk has been there for a number of years now. In terms of managing the group, no, we don't need to manage that. I've said it before, Harry Kane is one of the most professional guys I've ever seen or come across in my life. So that's the most important thing. The players, that's what they see. They see a leader in training every day that sets the tone, sets the example. And when you're one of the best players in the world and you're acting like that, you can only appreciate and applaud that kind of mentality.
Okay, thanks, Moose. We'll go to Vicky Sparks. Vicky.
Hi, Ryan. Good to see you.
Hello.
I'm just wondering whether you've had or feel you've had any chance to catch your breath, because the last couple of weeks must have been a complete whirlwind, or does it feel like you're still going at 100 miles an hour with all of this?
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind. You're right. I've had whirlwind weeks as a footballer in my playing days, so I'm used to it. I'm ready. It's normal. And like I say, I feel comfortable with this football club. I feel comfortable with the players, with the people, with the structure that we have in place here that have helped me focus on the team and focus on the group. That's the most important thing. My feelings and certain things going on in my head aren't important, because the messages that has been to the lads, and the most important thing is that we have to be ready. We have to be working. We have to have a certain mindset, a certain mentality to compete, because in the Premier League, you don't just turn up and win games of football. We've seen that. So my energy and my mind has been invested in the group and making sure they're ready.
And when we look ahead to Sheffield United, yes, already relegated, but as we saw against Brighton last weekend, sometimes strange things can happen when that pressure's off.
Yeah, it's a totally different kind of mentality they're going into the game. Yes, they're coming to probably the best stadium in the world, so they're going to up their game. They're going to compete. They always compete. We know that with the Sheffield United team. I know their manager Paul as well. He'll get them competing. They'll be 100%. So listen, professional football at the elite level, there's no easy games. Our players know that. We have to be professional. We have to respect the opposition, and we have to be 100% committed to get a positive result.
And just finally on Paul, it's been revealed this week he is on their 5-man shortlist for the job, in a similar position to yourself, interim until the end of the season. He's been quite coy about going back into that number 1 role potentially, but if that is on his mind, a huge amount for him to play for, as it were.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's representing a Premier League football club, so he's a proud man. He's a professional as well. So I'm sure he'll be doing everything he can to get his team ready. And likewise with me and the coaching staff here, we've done all we can this week, and we'll continue to do that to make sure the group are best prepared for the weekend.
Thanks, Vicky. We'll go to Ender Cole. Ender.
Hi, Ryan. How's it going? I was just looking back at some of your results over the last couple of weeks. Newcastle United, Man United, Everton. These are all games that you went ahead and then didn't go on to win the game. Can you pinpoint anything that's been causing that, and what have you been working on to try and fix that going forward?
No, I can't pinpoint anything, but one you're forgetting in there is Southampton last week when we went behind and we come back and won the game. So that's the kind of the mentality, that's the kind of feeling that I want the players to feel. They showed fantastic belief to win that game with the circumstances, with a disallowed goal as well. So listen, whatever happened before is irrelevant in my eyes in this moment. The most important thing is how we prepare the team and the mindset going into the game.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned Matt Doherty at the start of this press conference. I was just wondering, he played quite a bit of his career for Wolves as a right wing back as opposed to in a normal flat back four. Have you considered moving him into a right wing position, changing the shape a little bit to get more out of him going forward?
I think the most important thing for this football club is to prepare the team and what formation and what ideas we have for the team. It's not so much about an individual because it's not an individual sport. It's a team sport, and that's the most important thing. But what I can tell you is Doc's top professional. He's trained hard the last week, and he's been excellent.
Okay, thanks, Ryan.
Thank you, Endo. Okay, Jerry Cox.
Hi, Ryan. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
I know you've been totally focused on the football and you were totally focused from the touchlines last Sunday, but what did it feel like when you heard the crowd singing "He's One of Our Own" and Ryan Mason's Blue and White Army?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's a nice feeling, of course. I've always felt loved by people within this football club, the fans and everyone that's associated with the club. I've had a long affiliation with the club, over 20 years now. So I think everyone knows that I care deeply about the football club. My mind and my attention was fully involved in that game. So I wasn't aware of it until afterwards. A family member told me. But listen, I've always felt loved within this football club, and I really hope that this weekend and towards the end of the season, they can feel a real connection with our group of players.
And there is talk of away fans being allowed back into games. How important is it for you to end the season in front of some of your fans at least?
Oh, it would be nice. I think everyone involved in football, everyone in society wants to get back to some sort of normal life where we can do normal things. And I think the last year for sports fans, their football team has been a massive, massive part of their life, probably more so than normal because we haven't been able to go and release that energy after a working week and go and watch our team and express so many emotions. So I really hope that come the end of the season, that is the case where our fans can come back and our fans can feel that energy with the players and the players likewise. So it's important. It's so important because a football club, we need to feel that.
Okay, thanks, Jerry. We'll go with Ali Golden and finish with Jonathan Ville. Ali first.
Hi there, Ryan. Obviously, you mentioned that you've had such a whirlwind week last week. This one is your first real chance to have 7 days kind of properly training the team on the training pitches. Do you feel it's kind of been crucial in getting a lot of your kind of approach across, your patterns of play, things like that?
Massively. Yeah, of course. I mean, 2 days preparation for the first one and 2 days on the pitch for the second one as well. It's not ideal, but it's football. And I thought the lads showed real bravery in those 2 games. I really do. They showed some courage to play a certain way. And like you say, off the back of not having much time to prepare for that. But we've had a full training week. We've been able to work them. We've been able to work them hard. Been in the classroom as well. So it's been important. Of course, it's been important. And the most important thing is that you win games. You win games of football because that changes the energy, that changes the feeling within the group. And the players, yeah, we know the importance of this weekend. It's a really big game for us.
And you could certainly see at the weekend the attempts to kind of play with more possession-based football. I think there was a little surprise that perhaps Tongi Ndembele didn't continue in the team. I just wondered was there a temptation for you to use him because of that style of football you're looking for?
I think we've got over 20 top players, top professionals as well. So every single game, I think people can have an opinion and make an argument for playing a certain individual in a certain position. But I think ultimately we felt and we believed in a certain way with certain players for that game and the way we wanted to approach it. I think on 60, 70 minutes, the game plan and the idea was working. And we believed that the subs in that moment might be able to make an impact. And unfortunately, a set play undone us. So that was tough to take. But every game that we're going to go into towards the end of the season, there's going to be players that want to play, that expect to play. And I think when you play for a big club like Tottenham, that's always going to be the case.
Okay, Jonathan Veal to finish.
Hi, Ryan. Can I just follow up on the Ben Davies injury? He's obviously been out for a while. Can you sort of give us an idea of how much longer he'll be out for, and whether he might play again this season, and whether it could be a doubt for the Euros with Wales?
I really don't know a date when he's going to be back. He's been progressing well over the last 10 days since I've been here. It's a day-to-day basis where we're just seeing how he is. But Ben's doing all he can to get back out on the football pitch, and we really hope that we have him with us before the end of the season.
Cool. And you just mentioned there that you've been in the classroom this week. Can you sort of just expand on that a bit more? What sort of things have you been doing with the squad there?
I think our ideas. We've only been here over a week, so some things take time. I'm very conscious at the stage of the season. You don't want to be spending too much time out on the training pitch. We've had over 50 games this season, I think, or close to 50 as a group. So it's a lot of games, a lot of football. So I think those little bits of detail that you can get into them in the classroom are important.
Okay, thanks, John. We're going to move on to the Dailies briefing, which is